the secrets of success in leadership as well as professional transition, because we are going to give a lot of importance to long life success principle which stays with you, and also obtain a times tested and proven strategies that work instead of that guesswork which drains your energy and time. We want to be respectful of your time, we want to be respectful of your energy and the efforts put in, so only the best would be provided to you. Dr. Gerald, what would you like to add to that?
Oh, that's so beautiful. I like the fact that you say the best. We will try, not just trying, we will do everything possible to
Yeah.
make sure we give you the best. And one of the things we see us doing here is that we are going to share with you why it is important to develop the modern leadership skills, and also why it's important for you to transition across your profession in an organized way, not in a random way. Because we have made mistakes, but we have also learned very good lessons. And so these are things we want to be sharing with you on this lead talk, and we are very, very excited. And the other important thing is you are going to have direct access to Shilpa and to myself, where whatever questions you have about leadership or about your career progression, or you want to make a detour about your career, maybe into private practice as we do, this is a grand opportunity for you to ask us questions, and we will do our absolute best to make sure you are covered. Really, Shilpa, what do you want to add?
Yeah, I want to say that you mentioned a very nice thing, Dr. Gerald, is that we will be also sharing our stories and our journey, because the mistakes, what we have done, has been the greatest lessons of our life. And all this experience have made us who we are today. So we would be sharing very transparently for your benefit. In addition to that, it would be also an opportunity to work and network with like-minded people, as we want to bring this to you as a mission we are driving, right? To get the like-minded people. So there are so many people like you who want to excel in their life.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And just looking back a little bit, I wish these kind of opportunities were there before I made my mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Because now this is what we are bringing to you. We do not want you to go through the mistakes we did, and this is why we are creating this beautiful lead talk, so that you actually have a smoother path, right, than what
Yes.
I did and what possibly Shilpa did. Now, in terms of schedule, we are going to be live every week. So every Friday, you should be expecting a message from us to pop from your feed that yes, Lead Talk is on. So make sure you mark your calendar every Friday to listen. And this is going to be about 45 minutes to 1 hour. So just make sure you have your time plugged in for that. You can watch by video or you can watch through audio. Either way, you have this available for you. And the main things, like just in terms of what we'll be focusing. So primarily, we'll be focusing on two areas. The first area is leadership development. So all questions, whether you're an aspiring leader or you're an existing leader or you're a seasoned leader, all the discussions here are going to benefit you, right? And then the second arm of this, the lead talk is going to be how to do proper professional transition. Whether you want to transition from being a manager to a general manager, either in private or corporate, or you want to come out from the corporate world into independent practice like us as a business owner, this is going to be the second theme, the larger theme of the podcast. And so this way we are trying to capture the young and the more experienced. So we want to give you a table, a plate that is well covered, that's well nurtured. So again, you can really quicken your journey of career progression or career transition as it may be. All right. So what would you want to add to the team here?
Yeah, so yes, beautifully put, Dr. Gerald. Because yes, we want to have a little bigger canvas, because we are mindful that a lot of people are at a different stages of their life and a career journey, and that's why we don't want to leave anybody behind, and we want everybody to come forward in their life, and we are here to serve. And talking about a small point, what we discussed, Dr. Gerald, while we were formulating this, is why this lead talk, why we are even creating this. So I'll just share my small perspective as what inspired me to be part of this mission. Is a small story about me is when I was working in a corporate world, and especially I'm staying in a busy city like Mumbai in India, and the traveling, the commutation is pretty long, 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes more than that. And I could
Mhm.
actually focus that time, that traveling time, to gain some knowledge, to add up to my personal growth. And I even completed some of the certification studies while my journey, because for working professionals, sometimes traveling time is their own time, which has no
Yes,
encroachment if it is possible. So
yes,
that's why I feel now this new added advantage of technology, which allows us to listen while we are communicating, traveling, while we are doing some other work which doesn't need mental involvement, we can still listen to something which can be helping us build our professional and personal journey. So that's my mission, and that's my inspiration for joining this. And another inspiration for being part of the Lead Talk is that I have understood in my life,
mhm,
apart from the knowledge, skills, certification, and the degrees, these are the things which makes real difference to the success elevation in life. And that's been an area of my passion as well. So over to you, Dr. Gerard. What inspired you to start and initiate and be founder of Lead Talk?
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I like that. I like, as a co-founder of LeadTalk, Shilpa, I like what you've mentioned. Just completing part of your degrees and your certification while traveling.
Mhm.
Absolutely. This is a very wise way of using your time, because one of the things as busy professionals today is we want to make sure that we are actually using what some people call dead time, right? You're either
Yes.
on train, you're on the bus, you're in the plane to use, and podcast is such a beautiful opportunity to actually learn. And this is what I do many times when I'm traveling long journeys. I have my podcast on, right, on my audiobook. So we want to create. So what is my story? Why do I want? What inspired me? And one of this is way back in my early corporate career when I got promoted. I was made in charge of people who were older than me, much older than me, and you would imagine as a young person, just 1 year out of college, just 1 year of working, suddenly, instead of being a team member, you're in charge of the whole team. Now, without proper leadership training, I struggled a lot. I obviously made mistakes. I was nervous. Sometimes I took lines that were very hard.
Mhm.
Sometimes I took lines that were too soft.
Yeah.
And what I learned then is that leadership is really about finding a balance. And so my main motivation is, if I had an opportunity like this where I could learn when I'm traveling, when I'm driving, whether I'm on a train, I would have learned a lot more about the good things you need to do when you're a manager or a business owner, where you have people working for you or with you, how to handle them, the things you shouldn't do, the things you should do, so that you can work with teams effectively. So my main motivation, really, what inspired me is the fact that I struggled. Then over the years, I learned. Then I started reading from different leadership experts. And then it obviously became clear to me that the best leader is the one who mentors others. Because
Yes.
we can only become great if we also invite into our lives other people, right? So that way we can get better. And this is why we're inviting you every Friday to show up here to ask us questions. I'm sure you have a number of questions, either on your professional career transition or leadership development, whether in the private sector or in the corporate world, so that together we can grow. Because I am growing, Shilpa is growing as well. And so we presume that you will be growing as well by the content you receive on this platform. Yes.
Wow, this
So,
is so beautiful, Dr. Gerald, and
yes,
thank you for sharing that because I completely resonate with what you say. And optimization of a time is absolutely what is needed in today's day. And I'm glad that you brought that subject out. So go ahead.
good. And really, one of the things we want to mention here is why lead talk is the need of the hour is that today there is so much change in the world in which we live. There is a lot of technology transfer. There's a lot of, like, in the US and in the West, what we call the great resignation. What is happening? Most people are not finding the job world as enterprising as it used to be. Many promises for young people has been broken. So people are feeling lost and they do not exactly know what to do. And this is the point where my colleague, the co-founder, Shilpa, will help you with perspectives of how you can prepare yourself instead of just jumping out
Yeah.
of the frying pan, maybe sometimes into fire, is to prepare you in a nice way so that you can actually work with her, for instance, and plan. Maybe instead of jumping out in 3 months, maybe you can jump out in 6 months, maybe 1 year or 2 years. And this is why um, career transition is something we're considering very important. So we're actually responding to the need that is happening around the world.
Yeah.
As you listen to us now, I'm sure at some point you have felt that, I'm not fulfilled in my job. Maybe I should try something else. And so this is where Shilpa is going to hold your hand because we made mistakes in our leadership, in our career transition. And this is the specialty of Shilpa, where she's going to help you plan before you actually make that plunge. Okay. So this is very, very important. And I would like Shilpa to mention something that is very dear to her about why this is the need of the hour.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gerald, for beautifully introducing that concept. And you have touched upon a very, what I would say is a critical topic is great resignation. And for some people, great resignation has become a great regret because
Yes.
the thought, the way of leaving a job or way of transitioning, if we do for wrong reasons and without the plan and without the expert advice, can become the biggest regret. And as you said, I have done some mistakes which I regretted, but now those mistakes are turning to be the big learnings for me, which I'm wanting to part with my people, everybody who's there on us mission with us. So we will be talking about it more and more as we go along. And while I would want to hand over back the things to you, Dr. Gerald, what I would also want to mention to everybody about Dr. Gerald is while climbing his success ladder and coaching people across the world, he has developed his keen interest and expertise and super authority in leadership. He believes that leadership can be a fulfilling and happy journey and not the kind of burnout journey for leaders. And
Yes.
that's why he wants to create more happy, fulfilled leaders who are not only serving their organizations, but to themselves as well. Because if the leader is feeling inspired and fulfilled, he can make larger changes to the organization and to the society for the results they create. So that is the speciality, unique speciality of Dr. Gerald. And I'm thankful to him that he's ready to share his wisdom here. And over to you, Dr. Gerald, for what's coming next on the journey for everybody, why they should be here.
Yes, beautiful. I like that. That's a very, very kind of view. And as you listen to this segment, one of the things that we have discussed before we came to the show is that one of the things we want to learn from your mistakes as well. As much as we are going to learn from our failures and our mistakes, each of us, as you listen to us, I'm sure you have success stories, that your leadership success stories, but also you have leadership failures. Now, as you are going through your career, you made mistakes. It's not only us, right? You did, and we want to hear those stories. So as you listen to this, down below you are going to get a link where you can actually email us those details, or you just comment and you say, I have a story, we will reach out to you. So you can share these stories with us. So we can then share this story and invite you to be part of the panel. And this is what we're going to do. In addition to Shilpa and I talking, regularly we will be from time to time inviting different guests so that you listen from the best from around the world. People we believe have very superior experience that you can share, you can learn from, that we can learn from, and that we will be also providing our authority, our influence, and everything we know, so that together we build this little community to benefit all of us. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So, with that, I would want to invite you for our next episode, which will where we'll talk about why lead talk is the need of an hour and why you should not miss even a single episode. So let us give all the reasons to you to be here present with us every time we show up, and we expect you to show up as well, because we promise one thing, like our commitment will always be aligned with your commitment, and we'll try to put out the best which matches and justifies your commitment as well. We invite questions, we invite suggestions, and we invite inspiring stories from you so that we can together build this mission of having the happy lead talk.
Absolutely. That is absolutely, I like the invitation. Listening to you just makes me feel great because I know this is a great opportunity for listeners out there like you to just reflect on your professional journey, to reflect on your leadership journey, whether you are a team leader, whether you're an aspiring leader, or you're a business owner. I'm sure you have leadership challenges that have from time to time bothered